Now, I don't want to be that guy. I understand the New York Giants are starting off the season rough, 1-3 off the first four, and losing another over 20-point game in just the first few weeks of the season is not a good look. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. There was a couple of reasons why the Giants lost. I had a beat up offensive line. One of their better tight ends, Daniel Bellinger's out. Ankle injury again. That's why Saquon Barkley got franchise tag to begin with. He has a terrible ankle injury history, and that's costed him losing at least over 15 games over his first 4 seasons with the New York Giants. Don't get me wrong, Saquon's an outstanding running back, but injuries getting the better of him. Can see why there's been some financial hiccups trusting him over the long-term option over Daniel Jones. That did underperform. In the passing side of things, Daniel Jones was pretty exceptional when it came to creating his own offense when he became the leading rusher, over 66 fucking yards of rushing, over 10 total carries, only less than 4 over the 14 over Matt Breida. That was their second string running back. He's already not a good proficient pass blocker. All he did was cut blocks trying to protect over the quarterback, while Daniel Jones got sacked a record 10 times in last night's game. Devin Witherspoon, that had a profound game that already started over the half with already 2 sacks. Roquan Walden nearly got a pick. And when they were finally getting some stuff together later in the second half, fans were already leaving around the early half. If they split over the deficit when it was still around 14 to 3, and the Giants did not score since the second quarter. They went the last remaining 2 quarters scoreless after starting over a 7-0. Usually you can excuse a 7-0 start to a quarter. 7-3, you're getting some momentum going all around the half, but just 2 quarters of just emptiness. Barely any movement over the passing game. Way too much conservative football. When it came to Wan'Dale Robinson leading over 40 yards, that cannot be your second string halfback. Only below 50 yards of receptions over a 5-yard span. Isaiah Hodgins was getting just slowed down over in the secondary, and just Noah Fant with that massive 40-yard gain where he was shoved up nearly out of bounds down the sideline to even get that massive one. I was there over in the stream. Shout out to YTC for having me there, man. You could just see the pain in his face, and the rest of the Giants fans just watching, knowing this is their third primetime showing because they're coming out of a great playoff season. They had a profound top-ranking defense last season. They had a highly exciting running game. Just needed to improve over a passing game. Get some depth over the receiving core. Get more aggressive over their secondary play, and they can be a golden contender outside the conversation of the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles that, of course, made the playoffs, and the Eagles that made the Super Bowl last season. So most people would just say, what's the damage? After pushing over 9-7 and 1, and getting a massive upset, defeating the Minnesota Vikings and making it over to the divisional round, having a massive playoff window, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles. Even though it was expected, it was a growing pains, and they finally turned it up. Sure, it was a loss against their division rivals, but they still look like they're finally up in the same direction, and now they're in the same part of almost every New York team. They get a good playoff run out of their system. They finally got some upside, and then the next season when they finally get the pieces together, they get a good off season. They just piss down their leg. That's not how I want to see the Giants go, bro. Same thing with the Jets. They were pushing over on the playoff hunt until they lost 6 straight, having the top ranked defense in the NFL. That's not good. And I don't want to be like that. Daniel Jones with 202 yards, 2 interceptions. One that went for a 97-yard pick six off their last scoring drive around the red zone completion. They made Drew Lock almost look like he was a competent quarterback. We understand Geno Smith was shooken up over a play. Kevin Thibodeau was the only person that came to play. It actually got got an actual sack on Geno Smith. But other than the Jordan Brooks fumble that got recovered, Daniel Jones got forced fumbled twice out of his 10 sacks. Eric Gray lost the ball. I think Nick McLeod lost the ball. It's not looking good, man. The only upside was Micah McFadden, Bobby Oruke, and Kevon Thibodeau that got the 2 tackle for losses when it came to getting over the run stop on the Seahawks running. And around the first half, it just felt like the Giants already given up. There was already even freaking roughing the punter. I don't even know how you even rough the punter after trying to go over the block when he already kicks over the ball. And now the Giants are getting me upset because that's undisciplined football. And they even make the Seattle Seahawks look bad. Now take over the second best spot over the NFC West. They're bottom out against the Commanders. And I understand it's only early over in the season. We can't determine how the Giants are. And they've lost some key components over their pass protection and their starting running back. So I understand the blame's going to fall over Daniel Jones for his underperformance, but at least he was trying. When it came to stretching out over the game, when he went for an 11-yard carry over in the scoring drive, he had like 3 different separate first downs to even push him over in field position before he just got a terrible misread when he jagged out into the edge. I think that was Isaiah Hodgins hooking over in the slot, and then he just threw a poor read that got pick six that just closed all the confidence that even the fans of the Giants had to even come close to even make this a reputable game. And this is their their third primetime game, bro. That's just embarrassing football from the New York Giants. Hopefully they can clean it up. There's a lot of football to be played still this season. But after this embarrassing loss, because that's 2 straight, they'll be in a road game against the best offenses in the NFL out of the Miami Dolphins. In the Buffalo Bills that 21 skunked the Miami Dolphins last week around the 1 o'clock time slot in like 43 to 20. And the Bills are and both teams are still possibly going to push playoff contention. Then they're off in the divisional component against the Commanders, that are a highly competitive team, know them from the back of their hand, and have a more consistent receiving core duo than the Giants that play a more conservative run-stop style. And the only person that can push over positive yardage, rushing-wise, is now the quarterback over Matt Breida. That's not good. The only person to make it feel like their running backs can only do half the work and still get positive yardage is Lamar Jackson. And they still make the playoffs. Consistently. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's got to be the coaching. It's got to be the management. And obviously, Daniel Jones got to get his head out of his ass when it comes to his passing plays. Because we can't be in year 4, year 5 of Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. And he still doesn't look like he's comfortable around his passing plays. be reliant on his athleticism at a young age to get them out of trouble, and just get more competent receivers to actually know how to get to their spots. Like, it's just not a good look. And hopefully they get this clean. Oh god. So that's it for me. I'm gonna close up shop here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little recap involving Monday Night Football. And I understand there's other topics that we could have been talking about. Of course, I understand Edge showed up in Wrestle Dream on Sunday on AEW, interfering just literally after the end of Christian's match. I understand it's a big deal, Edge coming over to AEW. We'll find a certain time around the day to talk about that later. And yeah, we'll get into further detail later in the channel. But other than that, I'm gonna close up. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for further content.